we actually had an interesting announcement on Tuesday with David Egan talking about schools. Jody, maybe give us a bit of background on that.
So he held a press conference in Calgary, and he basically said he has finally got an overview of all the new school construction projects here in Alberta. There were 197 new schools or remodernization projects announced under two former premiers, under Redford and Prentice. Of those 197 school projects, he said 101 were delayed significantly, some by several months, a couple by a couple of years. Before elections, the premiers would promise, 50 schools here, 30 schools there, all great because the province obviously needs these schools, but money was not tied to that school. Now that he's finding out, hey, the NDP under Egan had to infuse the whole projects with 375 or 385 million in order just to keep them going, for them not to halt. And he's saying, hey, the previous government, it's their fault. They made all these school promises. They didn't give the money for it, and they have timelines that were totally unrealistic. And he called them on it, and he said, look, this is not our fault. We need these schools. We're doing the work. But it was the Tories that promised all these schools. The problem is the NDP can't win. The economy has it's bad right now. And so for them to announce it now, it's not terribly new. The public school system, the Catholic school system here in Edmonton, they knew that there was going to be delays. Egan said he knew about some of them. He didn't know about the scope of it, and that's why he brought it up now. But we're about a month away, less than a month from the Alberta budget. There's going to be some more revelations there about where they're going to be spending money and not. And they want to remind people that this is not their fault. It's the economy that's gone down. It's not the NDP's fault.
And it's interesting. David Egan has called in the Auditor General to do an investigation, which is, that's hardball. Now, the amusing thing is that Rick McIver, who was infrastructure minister during a big chunk of that time, is now the acting leader of the Conservatives in opposition. And McIver said, well, we left everything fine. If things have gone wrong, it's just happened since the NDP took power. And you're thinking, really? 100 school projects are years behind because of what the NDP have done in the last 5 months? Okay, you want us to believe that? I'm a little bit skeptical. I mean, some of what they've inherited is a mess. I've got a piece I'm working on that will come out in a couple of days from now about a school in rural Alberta that was supposed to be open in 2014 and is still a pit of mud, and is not going to get opened until maybe 2018, maybe. So some of this is stuff that goes back years. Schools that were put on the wrong sites, schools where the sites are contaminated with methane, schools that are built on sloughs, schools that weren't actually needed but were promised for political reasons. I mean, it's all a disaster. But it's a $5 billion infrastructure project in total, and so that's a very difficult thing to manage with lots of subcontractors and subtrades. And Jody's right. For the New Democrats, it is no win, because at the end of the day, for all the reasons Tristan just enumerated about the mass of people, they just think the government didn't build their school. And whoever is the government is responsible for the fact that their kid is on the bus for 40 minutes in the morning.